to be here. They're not paying me, so whatever. Welcome. Hey, we're going to do this again. It's night number 2, live from World Mini, the 47th running. They've been doing this thing since 1972. That's when I was born. That's how old this thing is. Took a few years off. Older than, not quite as old as you, though.
Not as old as I am. No, it's not as old as I am, but it's still a cool event.
Well, welcome. We are here live. These are some of my trophies back from my time racing here. Yeah, and the trophies here are actually that big. In case you're wondering, 6-foot tall trophies for all of our winners. Are you on YouTube as well?
Yeah,
Look at
I'm just looking. I'm just checking out myself here on YouTube.
So narcissistic.
I don't know what's that. I'm not trying to start a fire, so don't call me narcissistic. But anyway, just checking out what's happening right here in Verb Moto live.
That's right.
Here at World MIni Grand Prix. Come to be a part of the event. And, here we are live. Hope you're watching as well.
Welcome Daniel Blair to the program. Night 2. Daniel's here. Michelin is here in professionally, and I guess they had to send somebody up here to talk.
Had to. It was rock, paper, scissors, and I'm glad that I won.
Well, welcome. So we are here. It's the second running of Verb Moto's rendition of World Mini. And this thing has to come back. I feel like if we're going to get right into it, the West Coast needs a big amateur national. We got the Cal Classic, but we got Mammoth way up north. That's kind of a niche event, and we need this, right, Dan?
Yeah, I think back to my earliest days racing, it was all World Mini. I was a California kid growing up. It was actually my very first race, 5 years old. First gate cup of my life was the World Minis in 1987. So, I want to come back. I think these guys do a great job. This track is pretty awesome too. So you put all those things together, and there's the ingredients for something special here. And I'd love it just because, again, World Mini, that's what I grew up. Every year it was World Mini. And then we brought in Lake Whitney, we brought in Ponca, we brought in Loretta's, but it was World Mini first always. So just hearing that name again gives you those feels. So let's bring it back. I love it.
Yes, and speaking of World Mini, speaking of Verb, Verb just launched their Verb Prospect app, and dude, I'm such a nerd. I'm so into this, like the metrics of it and the stats of it. So if you're watching at home, download the app and kind of play around with it, because did you find yourself on it?
Yeah, I did. I found myself on there, ranked to 888 last year. So for 2024, I've yet to race this year.
Top 1,000?
That's what
out of all the riders,
if you
he's
do the math,
888.
yes, you're right, 888.
Yeah.
And it's so cool because I could look into it, and
there it is.
Though I don't race that often, I could look into it and see how many laps led, average start position, things like that.
Oh, we're going to look you up live.
Randy Richardson.
Look at this.
Yeah, you may just want to type in fastest man in Piedmont. It may come up quicker that way.
There's one it's a nude account, so you don't want to go to that one. That's a rated
Don't go
X.
to that one, yeah.
No.
Sorry, Chase is not very quick at typing here.
Yeah, it's okay.
So close. So we're going to look at Randy's stats, and it shows your average finish, your average
That's going to be
podium.
bad. That's going to be
There we
bad.
go.
He's got a picture too.
Look at that. I got vintage and modern.
There's Randy.
Right, look at that. Right
Look at
there.
that.
Look at
Oh,
Loretta's.
man.
There we go.
8th. I could
Scroll
go
up.
to Loretta Lynn's with a number 8 this year if I
All
wanted
time,
to. but
you're in 32nd, 32.52, not 888. I don't know where.
That's all time. Now, I said
Yeah.
last year.
Last
You may
year.
have been listening to what I was saying, but I said
Okay.
last year ranked number 888.
Of course, he pulls his best stat, which is
Why
just
wouldn't
last
I?
year.
Why
All time
wouldn't
they
I?
were struggling.
Look at there.
36 races.
33 top 10 finishes.
Dude, he's so
Wow,
solid.
dude.
Look at that right there.
He has led
Make
laps.
some noise.
Is that a fact check? What is that, a fact check? I don't know what it is.
Look
Look
at
at that
that.
scoring history. That right there. Look at that
Wow.
straight line.
To the
Straight up.
moon. That's Bitcoin.
3 points of data, and you see how they increase each
Oh
time.
wow! Look, he hasn't
Bitcoin.
left the southeast.
No, I
at all.
haven't. No, I
Why
haven't.
should he? Everything But he's way over here. He's not racing.
He's
So
lost.
Yes.
He's lost.
4 states: Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, and Tennessee.
Nice.
Isn't
I'll
that
drink.
cool?
I'll drink to that. Yes, awesome.
Drink to yourself. Look
Hey,
at that.
the cool thing for me is the Loretta tracker, because right
Yeah.
now we're in Loretta season.
Yes.
Everything's starting to pop off. Regionals are coming quick. So just to see where everyone's going, because a lot of kids, some go and they get a race in, then they go to the regional, but a lot of kids are going to multiple qualifiers just for more experience. So it's just cool, kind of cool to follow and track everybody, and then get an idea on who's going where for the regionals.
Yeah, like, so if you're trying to avoid Mike Brown, like if you're a vet guy, you're like, where's this guy going?
This is
I don't
where-
want to
yeah.
go where, and it'll show you. He tells you where he's heading.
Or if you're like me and you just want some of that guy, right? And you want to pursue him, find out where he's at.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I broke him at Loretta's last year.
Yes.
Final moto, he could not even lap me. He may not even race
Look at
Loretta's this
you.
year, from what I understand.
Wow.
Because I broke him last year, but
That's impressive.
But no, it's seriously, it's a phenomenal app for youth and vet racers alike that are taking racing serious. They want to see how they rank, not only amongst their peers or their buddies. You can define a group of you and see, kind of have that bragging rights,
There you
or
go.
see where you rank nationally. Phenomenal app for sure.
We saw how some guys ranked today, Wes. If you want to jump in here, and now we got the footage. This is where
This
we're
is
at.
FPV from the Camworks boys, 250A, which is not part of our show, but this looked too good. They came in like 3 minutes before we went live, so we had to load some up just to get the show started here. It looks beautiful,
Sweet.
huh?
Yeah, and Preston Kilroy today, his first lap was his first lap in the qualifying race. He just went straight out there, hadn't seen the racetrack, and won.
Yeah, he's doing Canadian Nationals, I believe,
That's
too.
right.
There's been a bunch of Canadian National dudes out at Club Amexa last week getting ready. Phil Nicoletti, Dylan Rempel. So everyone's starting to kind
Look
of
at that dirt.
gauge. I know it's good, huh?
We got a ton of rain last
I like
night.
the
and
rut.
it-
Well, it's just ruddy. I mean, West Coast, you can find ruts here and there, but to have a track like this that has some hillside, some elevation, and then all those ruts, it's gnarly. That's what it needs. And that's to me, that's what signifies a good race too, is a track that can get really rough, because rough creates lines, lines creates passing, passing is good racing. So yeah, it looks Kilroy looks good though. He's going to be good up there this summer.
Yeah, he was tough to beat. I think he won the overall in that second moto. So we ran all of our 250As today. He went, I think it was 1-1 actually. Yeah.
I'm guessing that Cowie was Revan Gordon.
It was.
Imagining. Yep.
Max Miller was behiing him.
Okay.
But we're about to climb the biggest hill we've got out here. Look at this thing. We're going to go to the moon, just like Bitcoin, up to the top. Going to come right back down.
Look
Just
at
like
that. That's
just like
long,
your
too.
career arc is just on its way
Yeah,
down.
on its
Randy.
way
Exactly
down.
right. Yep.
We've peaked,
It
huh,
peaked.
Randy?
It peaked, yeah.
This is it right now. Don't go inside those cones, by the way.
No.
Do not. What do you got, Wes? There's our producer, Wes Williams, best
Yeah,
beard
just
in the game.
hey, we got the Camworks boys over here, so I was just making sure I was getting his name right. Rannon, I had to ask him like 3 times today, and it was like the Pan situation. So
Christina.
Rannon from Camworks crushing the FPV footage today. So tomorrow I'll get it a little bit earlier. We'll do a little compilation, but obviously pretty uncut, literally uncut here. So epic flying and epic riding from Preston Kilroy and Rannon.
Rannon.
Brandon, hey, what I wouldn't do, I wouldn't worry about mispronouncing a name, because you can make a living doing that. I heard Kevin Kelly all day today mispronouncing everyone's name.
Hello.
It was her was here.
Listen,
And
listen.
there's so
Those of
many
you at
different
home,
people. Yeah.
it's H-O-E, ho, with 2 R's. How are you going to say that without going to jail or getting thrown out of this
I
place?
think I'm here to
Or
say.
sound like a mob boss. Oh, who would? I don't know. I don't know how to say his name. I said it every different way. Hopefully, one of them was the correct way.
You butchered it every way
Yo,
possible.
Rannon.
So
You got close, man. How
Whoa.
close?
Yeah.
That was super close.
you got closer to the
Unreal.
competition, it looks like.
There you go, Wes Williams. Look at that. So
hi,
let's-
hi. Here,
Zoom into
Crane,
that.
I forgot we got a good. That's Crane right there too. Hi,
Hey,
everyone.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Crane's getting good at this. He said earlier he's getting good at this.
You guys want to hear some 2-stroke sounds?
I do. I
All right,
do
let's
want to
go.
hear it.
Yes.
Let's get to it here.
9 to 15. Good class.
What a start there. That's Dylan Graham. He pretty much won everything on the white machine. It's going to stay white because nobody's going to throw dirt on that dirt bike at all.
Yeah, I don't know much about this kid other than the fact that I see his name coming up more and more, and then saw that he got the victory today. So it's good to see him. No, this is kind of that age right now when kids start kind of breaking out that you haven't heard of. Like 50s, 60s, you kind of get wind of this kid, that kid, and then on 85s, all of a sudden there's 1 or 2 that pop up, and you're like, okay, who's that one?
He's
And
got it.
This
Starters.
kid's been doing that. I've noticed all year. He's been kind of popping in there more and more, so I'm not surprised.
Well, here's a great opportunity for you to use the Verb Prospect app. Like, if I'm on the line, I'm like, all right, who's this guy? I'm from the East Coast. Why is he beating me? Well, look into it.
Yep.
He's there.
and that full class too. This 85 classes are so good, man. This is
A lot of stacked gates,
Yep.
a lot of full gates all weekend, and that's one of the great parts about the event. for sure.
And shout out to whoever put that World Mini Grand Prix banner up, because it has stood the test of time. We lost a lot of good banners.
That would be Brent Stallo, and he's very, very, very proud of
He
it.
should be, because, dude, we lost easy ups. We lost all kind of stuff. Last night, East Coast torrential downpours, massive wind burst. We lost a lot of stuff last night. And that's why the track's so good.
Yeah, well, it's, you want that sometimes. I mean, sometimes you don't, but it doesn't always, it don't hurt, especially if it can get in there deep and cause. Like I said, I like when the track has a lot of ruts like this. Sometimes you'll get like an inside and outside,
Now, there's a
and
ton of lines.
that's just not enough. When you can go in, you saw Kilroy going way out, swinging in, and there's like 5 different ruts. That's cool because that means the track will change all day. So good to see.
Yeah, we got a good look at Jake Willis, Logan Connolly, just a few guys that were in the mix there. And that hill, man, that, like, you just don't think of, when you think of Las Vegas, this area, you don't think of massive hills like that. That's impressive.
Well, in the old World Mini days, I mean, I rode a few different tracks, but the last one I really remember was the one down in the pit.
Yep.
And they had this big step up out of the middle that was just destroyed everyone's rear tires or rear rims. And but there was no elevation there. It was all kind of flat, and they kind of tried to create it in this pit. But this is cool to actually have it and be able to use it and have that big downhill too, because it's not just like a quick up and down. Like they're moving up forever, down forever.
And then that one section below that, below the sign, where
Yep.
they come back fading right, drop back down.
cool.
2 really creative lines here.
There's another look at Graham. Just flawless ride. He's gotten great starts, and the whole deal's coming together for him. And early in the day, like the first few motos were legit kind of a little bit sloppy, and I just wanted to see how kids dealt with that.
Yeah.
You guys kind of recreate that out at club?
Try to. I mean, well, we've had a lot of weather there too. The last 2 weeks, it's been just like off and on raining, so it's just been creating itself. But
So you don't run from it, though. You guys embrace it? 'Cause you know you're getting it.
You want it as much as possible. Because, I mean, you go through such a period of time where you don't have it and you're trying to create it. So when the
Yes.
weather's, it just makes it so easy.
There it
Just
is.
dig it up.
And Dylan Graham in
slow-mo. Look
slow-mo.
at that. God, that looks good.
That is fantastic.
Looked like you riding there for a moment, didn't it?
Yeah, at speed. At
Also,
speed,
I
for
thought
sure.
so, yeah.
What is that? The 41. Yeah, that's Jake Willis. I was wondering. Get my name's right here.
I'm loving the change. The big wheel 85s now, being able to run the full-size wheels, which is what they do in Europe and internationally. I think that was a good move and a good change for those kids. Because you got kids that are maybe not ready to move up just yet, but they're getting a little bit big on the bike. You give them those big wheels, and it gives them another year, maybe another year or two on the bike. So I just think they're actually proportioned a little bit better too. It looks good.
I think Logan Connolly's an interesting rider. I think he's 11 racing in this 9 to 15, so he's racing against some really, established guys, against a few super minis as well.
Yeah.
So for
Racing
him in
up.
the mix,
Racing up.
he'll
Love
get
it.
it. That is Logan there on the 351. 9 to 15, one of those old school kind of NMA extended swing arm, 6 foot long drag race 50s they used to have back in the day.
This
Did you
is
ever
our
run
boy.
those?
This is our boy Dozer, by the way.
Yes.
That is the Dozer.
He's sick.
I like that kid, man. Look at those muddy ass
Yeah,
pants.
he's-
He
I
don't
say he's
care.
muddy.
Muddy
Dirty.
blue jeans, yeah.
He
for a
crashed.
guy that races vintage like I do with the old blue jeans, I'm pulling for this
Much
guy
respect.
all weekend. All
Did you
weekend.
see him?
That was a little aggressive right there. Did you see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
The Dozer just steamrolled his way right past that kid.
Dirty Dozer, like our boy Dirty
Dirty
Dunge.
Dunge.
Dunge never replied to anything that I sent over
Why
that.
not?
Yeah,
It
I
was
don't know.
great.
I think maybe he didn't like what I said. I thought it was a compliment, and maybe he didn't like it.
Maybe not. There's one of the tougher names, Matteo Spitale Galeos, finishing back in the number 10 spot.
Is that one of the ones you butchered today?
No, I feel
Yeah,
pretty
he's
good about
butchered it
that.
tonight. That's this first time he butchered that one. But it was
enough.
pretty cool to see the results there and their ranking currently within the Prospect app, right? So you saw the results of the day and their current all-time ranking. So
There we go. You want to
again,
learn a little
Dylan
bit
Graham,
about
learn
Dylan
him.
Graham? Here he is.
Oh, 259. You might want to stay right there.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Go straight to 7 from
But-
259 to 7, you think, maybe?
For the year, he's 53, though, and then it shows all your plates, all your various wins there. 291 races. Look at that, up and down. That's like a track from Excite Bike or
I
something.
believe I can
That's
jump
what it
that. I
looked
can
like.
jump that, yeah.
That dude drove all over the place. Look at the states covered. He was everywhere.
Northeast, even up in Pennsylvania.
Hey, want to say thank you to Race Tech. They kind of fund this thing. It's kind of how it happens. You guys, have you ever used the Race Tech product back in the day? Gold valves?
I did. My dad was a Race Tech dealer, so all my suspension back in the day was Race Tech. And then my son right now, Suspension Solutions, a guy named Jake Posey does his suspension, and it's tied in with Race Tech. So we have all Race Tech products in our bikes right now.
Yeah, I do the same thing. So I work with what he mentioned, the suspension solutions back in Greenville, and I use some Race Tech emulator valves and all my vintage stuff. So they make stuff for vintage bikes, modern bikes.
go.
They got it all covered. So, battle of the day. Let's look at this one here. Score 1-2.
Yeah. That's the 79. You're going to recognize him. It's Max Shane. He's pretty much the number one guy on the app. But he had some competition today, boys. 87. That's Grayson Talon. And Grayson Townsend, get used to Holland.
Russell.
93. Yeah, Holland Russell on the 93. He's going to win this thing.
So Greg Albertson and I were talking recently on our new podcast, the Everything Amateur podcast, about these kids that break out, and you're just like, who is that? And this is one right now that's doing that. Everywhere he goes, he's on the result sheet up front. And so now to be able to see him and what he looks like, because I don't know him.
Yep.
It's pretty awesome. And again, he's racing against kids that have won big races.
High profile
Grayson Townsend won Loretta Lynn's last year, so that's cool for him. Not only start winning, but then have credentialed racers behind you and be able to beat them, and that just starts elevating your game and your belief, and that takes off. So I'm curious what's going to happen with this Holland Russell.
What is the common theme when you see a guy just out of nowhere? Is it just opportunity meets, other things like
Well, it
luck a little
depends when it's late, because sometimes when these kids come on late, you're wondering, like, well, what's the background? Did you just ride locally forever? Were you a 20th place kid and all of a sudden it's clicking? I recently talked to Billy Laninovich, who was kind of a weird story. He was a Verona Oaks SoCal kid and never raced a big race until the World Mini was his very first big race when he was 13. And he just jumped onto the map, and no one knew of him other than SoCal kids. So it might be one of those situations. I don't know, but this is where you start paying attention, then you find out, and you go, oh, that's his history. But kid like that, the history only matters when you're up front winning like this, because then you go into it and try to find out where it came from. But he don't seem to care about the history unless he's bitter from it, which is also a thing that happens at this age too. So it's cool when these guys break out like this.
Well, check out Holland Russell too. One thing, like, it's going to help his ranking because the algorithm, when you beat a guy, a high-profile guy, you get more points if you beat a guy like a Loretta's champ, Grayson Townsend. So he's going to soar up the charts. Yeah, it's cool.
And Max Shane, because he's number 1.
Yes.
So.
And being in that major event, to what you're talking about, those people that came out of nowhere and all of a sudden they popped onto the scene. If you know where they came from, what was their history? This apple, maybe we want to look at that, right? Research where they've been racing, where they've been.
Well, it's sorely needed. I come from a baseball background. We have Perfect Game. We have all the apps, all the stats. Baseball is a stat-driven deal, so we have this something similar. But this is super. The metrics in this is pretty awesome. So as we continue to look at some of the metrics there on screen, as we watch Holland wrestle, and it passes the eye test as well.
Yeah, I like his style too.
It's different, isn't it?
If an app like that can make a game as lame and boring as baseball exciting, think of this.
Can you imagine?
This is something as cool as motocross. Right?
Dude.
Like, think about it.
Crowd
Think
loves
about
it.
that. Think about that.
Good man. I like it. Holland Russell, though, elbows down, kind of a tall, lanky kid, not your traditional riding style. Went ahead and immediately untucked the jersey, Jason Anderson style, within the first 20 feet. Off the start, he said, get this thing out of here and rip that thing out.
0 tucks given. You
None.
can tell.
No tucks given. Oh, making that
It's
thing sing.
ripping, too.
We got a little snow this afternoon. Those mountains had snow on them when this little thing rolled through here. We had rain, we had snow, and I'm not kidding. Just behind us there, about 15 miles are those mountains. Went out there and ran a 5K out there and back, just kind of checking the place out earlier.
I was wondering
today.
where you went. I was wondering where you went because I heard for a little while there the names were being pronounced correctly, and I thought maybe
There it
you
is.
weren't there in the announcing tower. So
Schoolboy 2. The Schoolboy 1 is the 125, 12, 15. And the 2, you get a little bit older. You get to ride the 250s. You get to be 7 foot tall like Russell here. Is he going to stop growing? Like, what happens? Bigger
He's
bikes?
pretty tall.
From L.A., like
Long
Los,
hair, too.
Los Angeles proper is where that kid's from.
Yeah, where does he ride?
Right? Yeah, just on the streets, man, with the wheelie boys, getting it in.
he's going to ride on the 405 to get anywhere to ride. That's for sure.
Damn.
I know
You
that
see
much.
that? Was that dirty? There it is. Holland Russell's looking around. Another view of that same checker
Oh, he's
flag.
pumped too. He knows it.
double
Yeah, he
pumped.
knows it.
Jeff Ward, how about that? Welcome to the show, Holland Russell.
Jeff Ward, name the race. You know the
Atlanta,
race.
1990,
It's
triple pump.
Best race
Yeah.
of all
Triple fist pump.
time.
For
best
my,
singular race
for
of
my
all
money,
time.
yeah, absolutely.
I
Go
think-
back and watch it.
I think 50 different riders led that race.
It was like
About
28 degrees sitting in the stands where I was. That's for sure. I sat there that night just. Yeah.
It was freezing cold. There's a look at Max Shane's achievements. Look at that.
Number 1.
Number 1 ranked guy.
That's from racing a lot of races.
And yeah, he
Look at that.
got third
Oh
that
my
last moto we
gosh.
just watched in Schoolboy 2.
There you go. Yeah, you got third. 311 races. Good God. Do some math on that at what, $40 a pop? That's a damn 2 years of college. Jesus, Max.
He
Hey,
did more races than I did laps last year. That's phenomenal.
Damn.
11 states. Good Lord. It's like he's on the run from something, man. What's going on there, man?
You said that, not us.
Oh, yeah.
So,
He's on the move,
Racing
man.
his motorcycle. That's awesome. Gate drops matter. So.
It's one of Greg's guys, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Max Shane. All right, here we go. Moto 1 of the 57-8. Man, these parents are spending all the money. Just hand the wallet to Greg Albertson. He'll get you to Loretta's. No problem. Give me your wallet.
and some of the parents in this class, they're tight for money. They don't have money. They're doing
Sure.
the best they can. Like Villapoto, right? Like he's fighting
Yeah.
for every penny to get out here to bring
No
his
doubt.
kids. You know, I saw him
Working
at the,
extra
I saw
jobs
him.
doing
I saw him at the start of a practice yesterday. Poor Villapoto can't even
Yeah.
afford a good tube for his kid.
Hey,
Had
yeah.
a flat front.
Yes, he rolls up. He's about to go, and he goes, "Hey, your tire's flat." And he
The one
flipped.
kid, I don't know their names, but it was the one that has his metabolism, right? Not his wife's metabolism. But anyway, so I said, hey, your son has a flat front, and
Full
you got to get that
50 dad.
fixed. And he just full F-bombs it and takes off on the bike.
And the kid has no idea.
Yeah.
He just
And-
stood there, and the bike just takes off. And goes, "What
And
the
I
hell?"
just talked to the kid. The kid doesn't know me. He thinks I'm a weird guy with a mustache. I'm like, hey, do you know where your dad went? No. You had a flat front tire. He went to fix it.
He
He'll
has
be
to
back.
be
Oh,
the
yes, sir. Okay. So then he comes
stepdad.
back, and RV comes dashing back, and he gets back with the bike, and he's like,
Oh, wow.
I'm like, you got the tire? Yeah.
Every lap he did that.
He said, I stole a wheel from somewhere else, and then I'm, all right, cool. You might want to get a transponder. Dang it. So he goes back to get the
Oh,
transponder
man.
off the 65. So anyway,
The guy, he went a long period of time not having to do anything.
Yes,
He's
exactly.
confused.
Exactly.
He's so
and now
confused.
he's eyebrows deep in
He's
it.
like, "This doesn't magically happen. What are you talking about?" That's Edwin
But-
Armbruster there on the 12 cal KTM.
and what really is cool
That
about
is not. That's wrong
Not-
first name, wrong last name. Those are
It's
two different kids.
Edwin Meyer.
No,
Edwin
it
Meyer
wasn't
is on
Edwin
the
Armbruster.
36.
That was Bryson Smith.
Yes,
So,
on the 12. That was Bryson
Man,
Smith.
you're right, Randy. He just
You,
really
you
couldn't
do a
get through
good
it
job
today.
of announcing. You ever thought
I'm
about doing that?
freestyling.
Maybe
I'm freestyling.
that
No
might be
announcing.
good. You could do
Should.
like race announcing.
Yes,
No,
you should do that.
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
I've never thought about doing that.
Never thought about it.
Don't do it.
No, but what's cool is these kids, whether it's someone like Villapoto, who's obviously had great success.
He
at the
just
highest
lost his
level,
front number plate right there.
and he's in this full panic mode with his kids.
I think
like
Crane
so many
picked that
parents
number
are.
plate up.
Crane got it.
I did go pick up that number plate
Oh,
and
you
walked
cut
it
out.
back to his parents mid-moto.
Walked it
Man.
all the way back.
That's right.
RV must have put it on there.
No, someone said it was RV's. I was like, that's not RV's kid.
Okay, there's Edwin Meyer. He was 12 o'clock Robbie Knievel in that finish line every single lap, clipping that rear wheel, and it was frightening. Watch him. He'll do it again. If this is our finish line, he's not going to show it, but he was tough, man. Here's
Yeah,
Bryson.
that kid's fast too.
And
so
the
is
thing-
this one, little arm Brewster. He rips too, and then Bryson Smith. These are names you need to know. Obviously, Loretta Lynn's is around the corner, and these are some kids. These two are AMA 7, Arm Brewster and Bryson Smith, and they were really good last year in the 4 to 6 class. And it's cool when they jump up to the big boy, the big boy 50 class.
Yeah, the crafty veterans of the 50 class,
Yep.
as we say. He's a big kid. He looks like he's about ready. Oh,
Oh,
whoa, hang on.
oh.
See, every lap it was that way.
Wow.
So there's the points there. Their rankings on the right there. What? 279 for Carter Renneker out of Las Vegas.
You want
Love
to take
these-
a look at that name, try to pronounce it again, or no?
What's that, Carter Renneker?
Good job.
I'm good with it.
Pretty good.
Good job.
The 100. What are we saying? What are we thinking here?
Tryson Kilroy out of Wyoming. That's got to be a.
What,
Preston?
what RV was saying right there? I'll sell it all. I'll sell it all. That's what he,
You do that shit again. We're
one
done.
more time.
One more time.
He was saying good job, boy.
Was he?
Oh, he
Okay,
was.
that's
He
good,
was.
that's
He
good,
was.
that's good.
I had to listen to it to make sure because I was going to make fun of him. But no, he was like, good job, buddy.
Well, you might make fun of RV. I wouldn't.
I will.
If he was a mean dad, I'd be like,
exactly.
come on,
We'd
dude.
call him out. Yeah.
Oh, I'd call
yeah.
him out on the PA. Absolutely.
He's full mini dad
I've
now,
done it
though.
at Mammoth,
Two
100%.
kids here racing. 2 kids.
2 kids racing, and the one's racing on 50 and 65,
Yeah.
right?
Oh.
So they bought a motorhome. I think he said.
No, they brought a tractor trailer. That thing
Yeah.
is ridiculous.
Yeah.
He bought a tractor
Yeah.
trailer
For
right
three
after
tiny little motorcycles.
after Thanksgiving. I think he bought it for himself for a Christmas present. So that's what he said. So
Hey, he
yeah.
tried to get some tires from
yeah,
you, didn't he?
Yeah, he was quick to point out to me that his Michelin's on that RV cost him $12,000, and I said, yeah, that's can't help you with any kind of
Sorry about
sponsorship
that,
at
bro.
all. I said, you're retired, your kids are slow, and no, I can't help you.
That's
Sorry.
what paid for
So,
my flight out here. So nice. Your flight, Randy.
Yours.
Yeah,
Everybody.
my flight,
okay,
exactly
your flight.
right. Yeah, for sure. So, got Open BC here, Moto 1.
Hey, we're going to flip the script here.
Yeah, what do we got here?
Open BC. 6th race of the day, so the track was coming around. Trinity Bachelor. There's a look at Trinity on the 23. There's Townsend right behind him. Gage Dunham on the 5. Those are pretty much your players there.
Yep. So Gage Dunham, actually, my son raced the Houston Supercross for the KTM Juniors, and he got second to Gage Dunham. So I've known that kid forever. And then Trin and Grayson, obviously, they're top amateur dudes. So, but Gage Dunham, he's actually younger than them by a year. So he's in
Right.
that step right now.
He's
where
kinda
they're
new
just-
to the big bike,
he's
right?
just getting on it. So, the two in front of him have already been on it for a year. So he's pretty much following the right timeline and pathway onto the 250s.
Don't you love finding stuff out about people? Townsend's grandfather, I think he was on the board of Jack in the Box, kind of was a part of the Mike LaRocco Jack in the Box
Really?
Geico deal. Yeah, I'm
Really?
sitting up
Helped
there.
make that happen.
There you
Wow.
go. Yeah, I was listening
Yeah,
to
met him earlier. Super nice
Very
guy.
nice.
Yep.
Very nice. Watching his grandson do work here, trying to run down Bachelor, and dude, that's the look. The entire moto was that.
Bachelor rode a 125 all last year too, so he's new to the. Not new because he's been on one now for a bit this year, but this is his first full year 250. So good to see him because he was good on the 125 last year. He was one of the favorites in that class all year. So making that transition up right now and looking good again.
Look at
And
that.
Grayson is super credentialed. He won Loretta's last year, and I think he's. I don't want to say this too loud because there's a blue team based out of South Georgia that listens to the things I say, but Grayson Townsend is like one of the better prospects in all of amateur, in my belief.
And he's
So-
on the young side of things, and
Yes.
the family's got a very solid, very calm program. You know what I mean?
That's
Yep.
that team you did a lot of subliminal recruiting for, right?
Yeah, the one that,
Okay.
I'm their scout
Gotcha.
and
That's
recruiter.
what I was thinking, yeah.
Yep.
Subliminal scouting. Yeah, they were this close throughout the moto, and you would see Grayson would kind of close up a bit and then gap him back a little bit. They just went back and forth like this throughout this whole moto. I think late in the moto, Townsend had a bit of a topple
slow-mo.
over, and
then he tried to pass him right here.
that is so good. How do you do that?
Oh man, it's
You
just,
should be an announcer too.
I'm gonna try. If Wes Kane will ever let me in the booth, man.
yeah, I think they may pay you this year.
I'm getting paid for sure. Slow mo, man. Give me all that
Yep.
stuff. Give me all
So
of it.
good.
Coming down, and Townsend was doing some wheeling down that hill, which they do at Mammoth every now and again. I really love that.
Yeah, over all the braking bumps there at the bottom. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
just pop a wheelie.
Love
dude.
seeing their different technique and everything.
The wind was a solid 48, 55 miles an hour continuously.
And that's just based on the speed that it was.
Thank you.
Just to clarify.
Good to clarify that. Thank you, Randy.
You were just glad to help out.
And that's just, I mean, that's just the way that race went down right there. Kind of chilly. It was hot. It was
Yeah.
cold. It was.
Sweatshirt racing. Or jacket. Oh, yeah, sweatshirt.
Hoodie. Going to go with a hoodie.
Yeah, I'll go with
windbreaker.
hoodie. That's
Hey,
safe.
windbreaker.
Daniel,
Yeah.
I got a question for you.
Yep.
Did you run hoodies when it was cold, or were you like, I'm too cool for that? Because
I'm not
yeah.
hearing Wes. Are you guys
Did LBZ make hoodies? I can't remember.
No, I don't think LBZ made hoodies actually. No, I don't think I did. I never did anything like that except for I remember growing up and when it was really cold in the morning, I would wear rubber gloves under my gloves.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
that's
I mean,
it was a ticket.
practicing's one thing. I'm talking about a race.
No, I never did because I always thought it was cool to have your name and number on the back,
Yeah.
and I wanted everyone to see
Yeah.
that. So
regardless of
yeah,
ambient temperature?
Yeah.
You're doing
Well, it's
it.
kind of like, people are videoing you or shooting photos. You got to look cool. So sometimes I don't mind Grayson's jacket here. It looks pretty rad, but and some of the kids wear the big puffy ugly ones. It's like, nah, dude.
Listen,
just
why,
grit it out.
Why has a gear company not made a hoodie that looks like a damn jersey? So it would just mimic what your
Oh
gear
wow!
would
Hold
look
up.
like.
Where's my phone? I gotta
Write
text
that down.
myself something
Damn,
real
dude.
quick.
Whoa.
See,
That
This
was
is
a
my
little
shot,
body.
by the way.
Whoa.
Yep. That right there. That's what happened late moto, and Grayson had been on him nonstop. And again, like I said, would
There you go.
close in and then lose a little bit. He made that one mistake, I think, with about a lap and a half,
Yeah.
2 laps to go, and that was the end of that battle that we
Finally,
enjoyed so
like,
much.
he was so glad to shake
Nice
that
ride
dude.
trend too. He looks good.
Those flags hanging on. Looks like the flags of Iwo Jima, man. Those things got some miles put on them today, boys. That was
I remember
tough.
growing up World Mini back in the day. If you just look up, there'd be like 3 or 4 canopies flying through the air like in a cycle. It's a canopy national.
At any time. We lost a lot of good canopies last night, man. Let's take a moment for the canopies.
Yeah.
boys.
Cheers.
Sad. What do we got next, man? Throw something in there. Which one of these trophies means the most to you back here behind me? Just make something up, man.
I don't
Nobody's
know.
ever
I mean,
gonna know.
I've won the World Mini 3 times. I won it on a 50 and on an 80. That's right. Do it 2 more times, please. Get 3.
1, 2, 3.
But no, I won it on a 50, and then I won 2 on an 80 back before it was 85s.
Yeah.
Screaming
That old.
80s. Yeah, that old Randy.
Yep. 65, 7 to 11.
So, hey, I want to give a shout out to Umina Burning. That little lady can absolutely ride the wheels off that motorcycle. She's in a sea of boys, and she
Yeah.
was top 3 for every moto.
So hopefully my son doesn't watch this because he'll be so pissed that I share this story. But
Oh.
2 years ago, we had a Loretta Lynn's camp, and she was there, and there was this double in the ruts, and she was doing it, and he wouldn't do it on his 85, and he actually quit racing after that weekend. He literally was done because she would do it, and he wouldn't. And I was like, yeah, it's probably a good decision, son. And so we sold everything because of her. I'm not kidding.
Really?
Well,
Hold on, I'm
sorry,
texting
Umina.
Evan.
Yeah,
No,
now.
don't tell him that. I bring this up in front of people all
Yeah.
the time, and he gets weird, and I just
Yeah.
told everybody on YouTube. So
You did. There's Umina
Yeah.
right there in the
Oops.
seal gear right in third now.
Yep.
And so it's Jet Rowell was trying to track down Beckham Smith, and man, Beckham just had a great day. He was just tough.
Yeah,
There
it's
he
good to
is.
see Beckham out here too. Just spreading
There's
his
Jet.
wings, getting into different places, and riding different soils and different tracks. Because Beckham is one of the higher prospects in all of amateur racing. And not gonna lie, his coach, mentor, I don't know what you call that guy, Greg, got a pretty good plan for him. Greg Albertson does, and yeah, getting him everywhere and seeing different stuff.
How about? That was a
Wow,
nice
that was
flip.
a pretty good one right there.
He's okay though. They're made out of cartilage at this point.
Oh, my gosh,
Not bone yet.
That was
Oh.
my shot. Now, as a shooter, you feel so horrible just watching this kid in third place having to pick up his bike. But
As
he
you
was,
zoom in on him, like
yeah, exactly.
Let's go and have another look in slow mo.
That was Tyler Hinton. Man,
I did help a
Horrible
50 Z50 PW50 get up today. So Crane obviously did not help that kid. He just kept filming him. I put my camera down.
Good for the shot.
helped.
man. Hey, so Rouse, both of his parents race, and they were in the same class, and they were right behind each other. And then what if old man Rao just saws off the front wheel of Miss Rao? Like, how does that ride home work?
Well, it would have happened because of the drive-in. Something that was
Yeah.
done on the way in is what would have caused it. So
Or maybe she would be like, yeah, that's how we're going to teach him. So absolutely, I left
Yeah.
it open. Take that thing.
that's right.
There's Jet with 2 T's, and there's his nemesis as it stands on the 23.
Yeah, I didn't see them battle today, but I raced with his mom. Raced in the 50 plus at Loretta's, 26th overall. That's phenomenal.
Impressive.
Yeah.
How did you know that exactly?
Huh?
Because we talked about
I
it
studied
already.
the results. I look at the app.
The app.
It's all there.
Way to
He
sell it.
studies results, he says.
Yeah.
He studies results.
And there's Umina again. Like, I didn't know that was a girl until midway through the week.
she's
Absolutely
so good.
devastating. She's great. She's going to be a problem. She might be the one that's going to make it all the way to a Supercross, make it to the finals there, get into a main. It's not Jared Tibbing, not the 141. What do you got? Oh, yeah, we're talking more about the app. Are we looking at Umina's or whose results there? Beckham Smith?
Beckham.
A lot of ones
yeah.
on there. You saw those
dude.
ones?
A lot of ones, man.
So yeah, Beckham and Jet are pretty much neck and neck in the rankings. So these dudes are battling it out. Jet actually raced extra class here this week in order to try to get more points.
More
so he
points.
could,
How funny is
so
that?
he could win. Or he wants to be. He obviously wants to be atop the leaderboard.
That guy was not happy with that kid. Whatever was going on there. Not pumped.
We'll see if Chase can pull up the actual ranking right now, so we can see how far behind Jet Rao is from Max Shane and Beckham.
Yeah, I was saying
Smith.
they're in the top 10. Both of them are like maybe top 5, I think.
All right, let's see. Max Shane.
Jet is 2. Is that him in
Look at the
second?
points though on the right there, 48 and 43 for the year.
No, that's all time.
I was talking about on the right.
Sorry,
there.
on the left. There we go. Big screen.
Yeah, go back up. There we
Yeah,
go.
Jet.
Jet's second and Beckham's 5th.
I mean, they're right there together. I mean, the app seems to be pretty locked in because they
Yeah.
finished just like that out on the track.
Yeah, our algorithms, a lot of thought process put into that, boys.
And again, that's pretty interesting to me. We need more kids racing, right? We don't just need a bunch of facility kids. We need kids racing, and to see them sign up for more classes to try to move themselves further up in the app.
That's cool.
That's phenomenal. So it's going to encourage racing regionally and all across the country. So I think it's
That was
great,
a thing
great
for so long. Like, wherever the training facility, MTF, GPF, whatever, it was like, dude, we're going to hit an area, a regional, we're going to do Loretta's, maybe another, whatever, and that's it. Like, now, are you
Yeah.
guys encouraging gate drops again? Are we back to that?
Yeah, I mean, well, think about it. Is you race? That's what you do. So the best way to get better at racing is to race, and
do so, yeah.
and you can stack 5-6 days together practicing, and you can learn a lot. But you can stick 5 to 6 gate drops in one day, and that's where you learn the most because there's outside variables and there's different environments that you don't face every day. So
Yes.
to me, it's you have to be racing all the
Yeah.
time.
I look at it as like school. You can study all week, but until you take the test, you don't find out what you really know, right?
No,
and I think
that's a
racing
good-
is the test,
It
right?
is. Yeah, you're right. Exactly. You test what you've been doing to find out if it's working, and then you can go back and fix it. But if you're just practicing, then you might get some false confidence. You might think, "Oh, I'm really riding well."
Or
and
you're
then
really good at this particular track and you don't go
Yeah.
explore, the U.S. and all its tracks and different terrains.
Yeah.
Something to that.
Well, and then with racing too, you're riding on tracks that change more throughout the day because there's more riders. So, yeah, I think racing is coming back. I'm seeing it more and more where kids are actually going on the weekends and planning their week around it. So you actually have to balance both though. It's not just one or the other. It's doing the right thing at the right time of the year too. And there's a time to practice when you really do need to like work on some things, especially if you're maybe getting on a new bike or switching brands, something like that. But once you're kind of locked in, you should be on the gate as much as possible. And depending on where you're at in the country, you can race Friday nights, Saturday, and Sunday at 3 different places sometimes. I mean, think about that experience all in one week, and that's what you want.
Is this more of our CamWorks footage here, Wes?
Yeah. You guys, I feel like
That's
everything
Brody,
you guys
I
were
believe, right?
talking about, we should have played some more FPV footage here. Yeah, Brody Moss out front, Super Mini 1, Moto 1.
A Rolling Stone gathers no Brody Moss, and he was out front pretty much every moto, the 710.
Yep.
Wearing that Liat gear.
Dude.
Hey, are we about the color match boots, man? I'm on board that. Cooper's been
He
doing it.
looks good right there. There's another kid that's really breaking out right now here in the later
Unless it's-
days of mini bikes for him.
Unless it's all orange, I'm out on that.
Really?
Wow. That's just out of nowhere.
Wow.
Got a problem with orange? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you guys?
What's going
I
on?
want to hear
Wow.
what
Yeah,
you guys think
what's-
about the track from the aerial view here. It's just even breaking down what you guys were talking about riding at different places.
For me, what Daniel was talking about earlier, the way this track has developed, you can see from the aerial footage here, from the FPV, how many lines there truly are,
Yeah.
right? With the rain we had last night, the prep, how deeply they had this plowed. So many lines developed, and riders can ride to their skill set or, look for different lines. Like, you have so many options here, and I think this FPV footage showcases that perfectly.
Yeah, and what I like too is how the ruts are I mean, it's not just the corners, it's down the straightaways. You don't really get a chance to mentally take a breath, because sometimes if there's a track with just ruddy corners, your mind can kind of take a little bit of a breather here and there. But this track, I mean, you're thinking the whole time. And I like that. That's challenging. Wow. My boy right there.
125 BC, so this class sounded amazing because I love the two strokes, and a really good battle here.
Christian Humphrey on that 47 led this thing 37 different times because Brady Olson crashed multiple times, made a run at him multiple times, made the pass, and just handed it right back to him.
Yeah, see, Brady is he's on the West Coast swing right now too, just taking in new things, and glad he's out here. He's actually a kid that I work with, and great kid, breaking out right now. You know, he's another one of those that right now at this age, right after the puberty.
There he is.
Got through puberty in his teenage years now, and is finding success. And finding success is cool because it gives you confidence, but sometimes you don't know exactly what to do with it because you're in uncharted territories. But maybe you haven't been winning most of your life, and now you're winning, so you're learning how to win, and then losing feels different than it used to. So, but no, Brady, he's a high prospect too, coming into his own right now, and glad he's out here experiencing the country, just driving around, making sure he's hitting everything. Because if you want to be a good pro, you got to be good at everything. And
trying to shake off that drone, man. That dude was all over him. These camera guys are tough to shake off, man. Look at that drive from the outside.
Yeah, and he makes a strong charge to what you were talking about earlier. He slowly just picked away, and closed down and got back by Christian Humphrey and led him for another maybe lap and a half. Like, gapped him just a little bit, and then went down again. So, to your point, he learned his test was pretty challenging today, right? And to your point, maybe he didn't, quote, pass the test, but he learned a lot on it. Right?
And to your point, I got nothing else I just want to say.
you just wanted to get it in one more time? There we go.
There we go. Yeah, there's a lot of places I would just pull off to the side. It's way smoother, like, pro tip, off to the side of the track, no ruts.
Like that water truck line, it would be your line.
100%.
Hot line.
Okay.
Nobody's watching me. There it is. Look at that on the outside there. Hop right up over to the top there. It's not Dax Bennett on the 241.
No, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Let that thing, I like to hear that.
Shredding down the hill. And this kid's pretty good too. He's another one that's just seeing their names more and more at the top of the leaderboard. They're learning what it's like to be at in that state where you're winning and losing, Randy. Like you said, and at this stage you're really trying to learn as much as you can because you're about to get onto the 250s. You're about to become a pro here. It happens very fast, and you kind of want to be in those situations. And Cooper Webb said it best. If losing is learning, because if you lose, it's because of something, and it gives you a chance to learn. So if you're just winning every single moto, that probably feels good, but it's actually probably not the best thing at this stage right about now. Now, once you get on to about 250B mod A pro, then you're kind of wanting to win everything. But this is that perfect time period to get in as much learning as possible, and usually that comes from mistakes. So not a bad thing.
How good is this class too? The 125 in particular, the 125 BC, making these kids spend a little bit of time on these bikes.
I really like the 125. I mean, you just have to carry so much more momentum to get it to do what you want. Then they get the 250. The 250 does so much for them, and so I think there's a chapter and period where you want to be on a 125 and have to kind of squeeze the power out of the bike, and then you get the gift, the four-stroke gift.
Yeah, definitely have to focus on less mistakes. The mistakes are more costly, certainly on the 125 small displacement like this, because to your point, the 250 is just more forgiving. And so before they move up to learn a lot here, it's an excellent class for that.
There's Brady Olson from Dripping Springs, Texas. A wicked little name there. He's caught him. He made the pass again. Unfortunately, our videographer did not get that pass.
He was probably taking a number plate
Hey,
back into the
now.
pole.
Oh, that's right. He was taking that number
Getting
plate
yelled
back.
at by RV.
And I think the lead has been handed back. Well, not yet. There's Christian Humphrey there on that 47.
Yeah, we did get the one crash. We'll see if he got
I'm
the
going to
other.
say one man showed this moto, so it is pretty good.
It's impressive.
Hey, someone had to be down here editing, okay? Crane decided to be down 2 hours late because he had to film this moto solo.
Call him out on
because
it.
he didn't want to edit.
Wow.
Call him out
So-
on air.
Let's do
Jeez.
it.
So instead, Wes was down here slaving away.
Yes. Yes, I'm all about that drama. Anything else you want to air
Yeah,
out?
what else is going on in your guys' life?
Well, the toilet got clogged here in the gun house today, and someone else also had to take care of that. Oh,
That's
goodness.
the sound of a clogged toilet.
Yeah.
They use the plunger on the end of those things anyway.
Yeah, hey, you know what sounds a lot better than that is 125s.
Yes, turn it up.
Can you guys hear it? Because I can hear it.
Okay,
I
I
can't
can
now.
just barely hear it.
Yeah, I think that's the last thing I have to figure out is how to send you guys a better signal tomorrow. All right, that's the last thing I have to air today. All right. Oh, actually, DB, while I have the microphone here, Dog Lover 136 says, if you can see this, a moto head is in the chat.
Yeah, nice. What's up, dog lover?
136.
I'm Dog Lover. That sounds wicked, dude.
Yeah. So what
We
now?
can't repeat that. There's Brady Olson. He still was able to recover, finish second, crashed a couple times. There's a tight shot of your face. Hey, he asked where your face was going to be during that. It stayed on your face. Your face stayed on your head.
That's a.
Crane was like, hey, is your face going to stay there during the show? I'm like,
It did. I didn't plan on moving around. I've been locked in.
Are we ready to shut this thing down and say thanks to Race Tech and thanks to everybody
We're
else?
gonna play down some Camworks clips.
Yeah.
Some more FPV stuff, and yeah, you guys just tell us what we can expect for the rest of the week here.
Well, what I can expect is miss a night of great fun bowling from 6 to 8 p.m. here locally. So I got the opportunity to come in here and co-host this. I do appreciate it, but look at that. That guy got bowled over. Look at there.
Hey, there
in
you
that
go.
turn right there. That was a 1-1 split. He
So,
almost
yeah,
had it, but
right
he
about
lost that
now,
moto.
there's about 700 families bowling right now. Some husbands and wives finally getting out of that RV.
Do we have a chance to make it still?
Let's go.
Let's go.
And the great thing about the location of this, okay, fly in, drive in Vegas. It's an hour south of here, but Mesquite, there's a Starbucks 3 minutes from here.
Tons of
There's
casinos.
casinos around here.
You can hit
there's
balls
nice-
in between motos.
Yeah,
yeah,
you
if
can-
you want to. If you're into that kind of stuff, I know
There's a
Kevin
golf.
did.
You can ditch your family up super fast here, super easy in the evenings.
Yeah, you can get your morning practice in and go play 9 in the afternoon.
Yep.
Phenomenal location here in Mesquite for the World MIni Grand Prix.
There you go. It's only going to get better, and this show is way better than last night. The talent level, it has risen to, I mean,
Thanks, Randy, for being here.
amazing.
Glad I could be
Greg
here.
Albertson's like, what? Seriously, he's right there. Like,
But what was cool was they didn't have to start the show twice. Remember how you guys started? Had a phenomenal. You kicked it off. Great banter, great chatter. And like 8 minutes in, we got to start again.
That was a warm up.
well, that's a wrap, man. Day 2 of the second running of the Vermoto World Mini. They started back in 1972. This thing's not going away. Come see us next year. Make plans. Come
And what
on
we
out.
call this, the VPP, Verb Prospect Podcast, right? VPP.
You down with VPP?
Yeah, you know me.
That's it. We're done. Shut it off.
You got to learn to set my soul on fire. You got to